guys, what's up? Sorry we've been gone for a little while. Welcome to Vaders Fist. We got a couple things to start. I'd say Lucas, let's get started.
We've got a couple of things. As you guys probably already know, Battlefront 2 and the Vader comic,
Right there.
which is right here, came out last week. Trailer for Battlefront 2 looks amazing. We're going to give you a couple thoughts on what we both think and what we want to see from Battlefront 2. And then we'll get into the Vader comic.
Yeah, so like what we want to, at least what I want to do for the Vader comic is kind of just go over like, I'm going to kind of like, I think we could each pick 2 pages that we really thought that really resonated with us, and kind of overall what the first issue for the new Vader comics were. If you guys don't know these, there was another Vader comic that was in between episode 4 and 5, and this is right after episode 3. Like, it literally starts right after he says no.
Yeah, which nobody really kind of liked the way that.
Yeah, the cinematic way it was.
The comic way was pretty
really cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But start off with Battlefront. We're gonna put a description of the. We're gonna put the uplink or whatever, the link in the description below, where you guys can watch it if you haven't watched it already. But I like the fact that we're getting new eras. I mean, that's one of the things that I thought was lacking in Battlefront itself, is that I thought that the prequels, that the prequels should have been represented, but I understand why they didn't, because it wasn't time for them to do that. So, and I like the fact that we're not gonna have to pay for DLCs that come out from after the launch.
Yeah,
a lot of people did not like buying the season pass.
I was not a fan.
Which
I got rid of Battlefront about 2 months after.
I bought the season pass, and I mean there were some perks to it, but I can kind of understand how. I mean, there were 4 DLCs that came out, and they were each
5, yeah.
they were each like $25 a piece. So it gets pretty pricey. Yeah. So I like the fact that they're having free DLCs, and from the trailer, you will see that we will get Kashyyyk again, which if you played Battlefront 1 and 2 of the original back in the early 2000s, those maps were just ridiculous of Kashyyyk, and I love the planet of Kashyyyk because I'm a Wookiee guy. So,
one thing I liked about the trailer is obviously you're getting different gameplay. So we obviously know about the story mode, which is huge. It has Palpatine in it. It has a new character, and we've already talked about that.
Iden Versio.
Yeah, so we're not gonna go too much into that. The gameplay just looks a lot more
crisp.
Yeah,
nice.
It just looks different, like in a good way. Like Battlefront was a good game, gameplay wise. It just didn't have enough of those different features.
It didn't have enough story.
Unless you love just different maps and online play exclusively, then that was the game for you. But for most people, it's not. I liked how in the trailer they'll have the clones. And then it panned, and what's the stormtroopers see Darth Vader walking down the Death Star hallway. And,
you mean the TNT 4?
Yeah.
It's
a tentative, yeah. And then you have the First Order, which I thought was really cool. I also liked how in the beginning it's like there's a clone saying, "Yeah, it's all clear, it's all good," and then just out of nowhere all these droids
Darth Maul
too, and it's cool. You have the heroes versus villains, just like back in the day. Makes it a lot more interesting than just just trying to get Vader.
Yeah,
basically. That's what kind of what
I like and I mean Darth Maul looks just ridiculous. And the fact that it's Sam Witwer is voicing him is nuts.
Yeah,
I love Sam Witwer as Darth Maul. Like he did a great job in the Clone Wars and in Rebels with Maul.
Very good job.
And then
very sinister.
Yeah.
The way he makes Maul's people.
I agree. But I mean, the Assault on Theed stuff, man, does that...
It looks cool, and the dogfighting, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. On the planet. Cool. But I think in the next Battlefront game, you'll be able to do kind of like Galactic Conquest, but when you destroy like a fleet that is surrounding a planet, you'll end up going straight and being able to have like vehicles, like transports that are carrying your troops, and you'll be able to drop them off and battle from the ground. So you'll have space to ground combat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that would be pretty cool.
I'm just really like I'm excited for like heroes versus villains and just more versatile because I mean like the story mode is gonna be great, but eventually I mean once you beat it, you beat it. It's I mean you can replay it if you want, but it's kind of like any other mode. So like, the online play is gonna be a lot more. The online play is gonna make the story mode is gonna put this game over the top of last year. But also everything that they're adding on with all the online modes and other modes that you do, it's gonna push everything.
And the fact that you like we said, we're gonna have multiple eras, so it's like, like you want to play Clone Wars, let's play Clone Wars. If you want to play the sequel trilogy, let's play the sequel trilogy. If you want to play the original trilogy, we can do that too. Like it's great.
It's so versatile. You can and it looks like you can fight. And you can do lightsaber fighting, obviously, with when you're doing heroes versus villains. It's gonna be great. It looks really like Lucas said before. It looks really crisp. It just last year it just seemed like there was like an element missing with the gameplay. Even like it was pretty good, but it wasn't like.
There are a lot of things missing.
Yeah, and we both have the pre-out. We both got the alpha gameplay, so that will be coming out probably a couple months before the game comes out.
You mean the beta?
Or the beta, but
the beta.
And yeah, so we'll be doing that. But yeah, I mean, pretty much it seems like a really
they listen to the community. For
yeah,
sure. They did. Yeah. And I mean, it's cool that John Boyega tweeted something about, hey, is the next game gonna have a campaign? Like, because that's pretty.
It's a Star Wars.
That's what needs to happen.
Star Wars is about telling is about telling a story. I don't know how you don't have a story. That was kind of just the thing that pushed it down.
And I like the fact that they're going from the Empire's point of view. Like, you don't get a lot of canon stuff, except for some of the books now we're getting into, like, the Empire point of view.
We're going to have some book reviews coming up here in a couple videos. But yeah, I don't want to go too long on one subject. Any final thoughts? I mean, I just think it's going to be an interesting, and it comes out right before, obviously, Episode 8, so it's going to get
you're gonna
really
get
exciting.
You're gonna get some. The first DLCs to drop will be Episode 8 stuff.
Right.
So it's gonna be really, really interesting to see how many planets from each era they're gonna put in, because I mean you could put in an infinite amount of planets.
Oh, there's so much they can do.
It's ridiculous.
You could do Scarif. You could do you can do Rogue One stuff.
Yeah, they'll be able to do Rogue One. They'll have turret and bays and stuff like that. I'm sure once they get to it. Jin. But I think the best part is that it's just little things as Star Wars fans that you'll notice. Like back when we were younger, the clone troopers look like they do. Like they have uniform stuff type looking like the 2003 clone troopers were in the Clone Wars, like the skirt kind of looking thing at the bottom.
Yeah,
when they have the gun with the rail gun and stuff like that. Like I think that stuff's cool. But yeah,
definitely. It's looking a lot crisper. I think it's gonna be a really good game. I would definitely give Shadow of War a run for its money.
I would definitely pre-order it if I were.
Yeah, we already did. We already did this Monday.
I got the deluxe. He got the regular edition, but it's gonna be pretty bomb.
But yeah, so we're gonna go into this. We're gonna each look at 2 pages. I'm gonna go first. I'm not actually gonna pick the first page because I know which one Lucas is gonna pick first.
I mean.
This is okay. So this is what I'd say for both of us. This was a big thing. Now this actually got released to IGN. I don't know if you guys can see that. So there's Vader. Actually, I don't know if you guys noticed, pushes Palpatine through a couple of walls.
Yep.
And this is probably the better version of his no. I think actually this is canon too. So this is kind of the weird thing is there's 2 different canon stories to this now. Because this is the exact same moment of the first no. So
yep.
So I definitely say for both of us that was like wow. I'd actually say for my first one, something that resonated with me was this: The Age of Freedom. So if you guys don't know who that is, I can't remember his name exactly, but Masamita. That is Emperor Palpatine's right hand man, and when he was Chancellor as well. And basically, actually,
he was he was Valorum's right hand man too.
Yes, he was too. So I don't think he actually knew who Palpatine was until the end of the Clone Wars. But I would say this: if you really look closely at that lightsaber, it's really short. It's Yoda's.
It's lightsaber. Obviously Yoda, yeah.
So it's kind of cool, and they're destroying all these lightsabers, and it's just like it's really cool. And then and Palpatine is talking. Him and Vader are above, just looking over this, and he's Masamiya screaming "Age of Freedom," and he's like, "Freedom, none of them understand it. None of them except for you and I." Which is really, I think, is really just showing how diabolical he really is, and I thought that really resonated with me. But yeah, you can.
Obviously, I'm gonna choose the first page. I mean, it's just another way to relook at the prequels.
And that's one of the prequels. That's like one of me and Lucas's like favorite parts. I love towards the end of episode 3 when he kills Padme and he has that huge, just crazy battle with Obi-Wan.
Yep, and my overall thing with the first issue is it really gives you a sense of how we're going to I mean, how the series is gonna go. Like you're gonna find out. You're gonna see how he deals with his armor and all this other stuff, which is really really interesting to me. And how he finds his lightsaber and how he goes and kills a Jedi.
Because they go into it saying like so before.
And this is the last page,
which is pretty cool.
It's him pretty much killing a Jedi, I believe. From what I understand, he has to kill a Jedi to get the crystal and then
bleed
it, which is pretty much taking the emotions of the crystal and turning it to the dark side.
Yeah, basically. and this is new canon because before it was actually canon that it was just the Sith just created their own crystals.
Yep.
Because there's no such thing as a red crystal that you can find. And my other one that really I liked was. Where are we? Should be around here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Okay, so Palpatine and Vader, they're walking down this corridor to get to Vader's new ship that Palpatine prepared for him, and they're in the mid-rim, and he asks Vader, "Your armor, Lord Vader, how do you find it?" He says, "It is acceptable." And I think that's pretty cool, just because I don't think Vader really ever. I think Vader knew scientifically that it wasn't probably state of the art, but he knew through the Force it actually helped him build his powers better because he was always in pain because his stubs would hurt a lot. It's a lot of strain because the suit was uncomfortable. It was very uncomfortable for him. And I think it just built his anger because they definitely could have made a better suit.
You know what I want to see in these Vader comics? These ones? I want to see him at his palace on Mustafar.
I mean,
I really want to see it.
I think we will, but I don't even know if his palace is there yet. Cause
no. But I hope this comic goes about 30 issues. That would be really, which you don't really see comics going to 30 issues anymore.
I mean, it went to 24 for the first Vader comic.
So I really hope that they go into that because I think that's something that needs to be addressed because, I mean, you see it in Rogue One, you're just like, how did he get that? Was that there originally? Yeah, there's a lot of backstory that needs to be told, whether it's in The Last Jedi, or if it's in another standalone movie, or if it's in a comic or a book. I just want to know what or how and when he decided to live in this thing.
Right. Overall, I would give it a 7.5 to 8 out of 10, just because we both love the Vader comics. I thought it was a little too short.
I agree.
But I think that was the only thing that I took away from it because it was the opening scene is great.
Oh.
It starts right after episode 3. It gets into that it kind of gets your heart because you see Padme getting choked. But I just think having it being short, I think that it could have gone a few more pages, and you could have seen a little more action of him actually, killing these people.
Oh, it's gonna be
and we know because we know there is when I mentioned there's an IGN thing where they showed the first 2 pages of this comic. They also showed a little bit of artwork for future comics, and it's where he's battling this unknown Jedi that survived the Purge. And he's battling him. He's like bearded. He has this big, looks like a big lightsaber scratch right across his back, and they're just going at it.
This would technically be, well, I guess
it'd be right.
Order 66 was the Jedi Purge, but
this is
in Legends. There's another Purge that happens after.
That's what it's called. It was Order 60. Yeah, Order 66. It was just Order 66, and then whatever happened after was a Jedi Purge.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's during the Jedi Purge. But So that was my final thoughts. So Lucas, you have any final thoughts before we?
I liked it. I mean, there's only one way it can go. It can go up. It's definitely not going to go down for me because Vader is my favorite character.
I don't think it'll go down for anybody, to be honest. It was still a good comic. It could have been better.
It could have been a little bit better.
I think it'll get better. I think they did. I think it was more on purpose than anything. I don't think
because they don't want to give you too much. If they give you too much, then it's like, why read the rest of it? You know what I mean? But guys, we're going to the next few weeks. I'm going to try to get George to get Inferno Squad, which comes out either this week or next week. And we will start to do book reviews, because I know a lot of the Star Wars canon now is being in books, and I know a lot of people don't read the books, and us as Star Wars fans, we try to dive into everything that is Star Wars and get that content for you. So we've both read Lords of the Sith,
and
Tarkin.
We might we can probably get Tarkin and Lords of the Sith out today.
I'm going to try to get him into Thrawn soon so that we can kind of discuss it. I've got to re-listen to it as well. So we'll get that content out to you hopefully in the next few weeks. Yeah. But I mean, for Vaders Fist, I mean, you can follow us Sith Council 2310, I believe it is. Yes. And then my Twitter @LordVader2123. You can hit up George on Facebook.
You can get me on Facebook, George Poulos, Poulos, George how it sounds, Omaha, Nebraska.
So, and always may the Force be with you.
Always.